Greetings, dear friends, and welcome once more to this channel. This is Ken Jerry from Afrovolution Company. Today, we are going to be starting with Visual Basics. So before we get started with Visual Basic, if you have not yet subscribed to this channel, make sure you hit the subscribe button below. What is Visual Basics? Visual Basics is a programming language which is used to develop simple to complex GUI applications. And we develop this application using drag and drop components of the Visual Basic IDE. It's important to note here that the Visual Basic IDE is called Visual Studio. So Visual Basic was developed by Alan Cooper using the basic programming language. Next, we need to talk about what an IDE is. So IDE stands for Integrated Development Environment. In order to create application using the programming language Visual Basic, we will need an IDE. So the IDE that we will be using here is visualstudio.net, which is an environment for developing Windows and web applications. It's important to take into consideration that visualbasic.net is just one of the languages that comes with Visual Studio that can be used to program applications. Thus, visualstudio.net hosts a number of programming languages. Then, what is the distinction between visualstudio.net and Visual Basics? visualstudio.net is the environment that provides all the necessary tools for developing applications, whereas Visual Basic is just one of the programming languages that are used in Visual Studio. And Visual Basic is only one aspect of a window application. And it's important to note that the visual interface of the application isn't tied to a specific language. And the same tools that the IDE comes with, you can use them to develop other applications interface and programming using other programming languages. So how do we start a new project in Visual Studio? So at this point, we are going to create a new project and start working with the Visual Basic programming language. So to best explain the various items of the IDE, we are going to build a simple form. The form is the window of your application. So the form is what the user will see on your desktop when they run your application. So let's launch a Visual Studio. So now we have launched Visual Studio. As I said earlier, we'll be using Visual Studio 2019. So this is the interface when it is launched. We have open, recently open project, and then we have the get started site where we could clone a repository. We could open a project or a solution. We could open a local folder or create a new project. So let's click on create a new project. So when we click on create a new project, this window comes pop up and we have the recent project template. And on this side, we have this where you can choose the programming language that you will be working with. Or allow Visual Basic, which is the language that we'll be using here. You could choose the platform for which you're developing for here. And you could also choose the project type here, depending on which app you're building. So here we are concerned with Windows Form App.NET framework. So you could see the language is Visual Basic, the platform is Windows, and the project type is desktop. We click. We are going to give our project a name, demo 1, and you can see that the project name is the same with the solution name. So it's going to take some time in order to create our project. So our project has been created, and by default our form is called form 1. So for the interface of Visual Studio, we have the Solution Explorer, we have the property window, we have the toolbox window, the Solution Explorer window. You could add additional windows from here, or you can navigate this tab and you could see all the different things that you could do. So this is actually how you create a window application form or a new project. So thank you for watching, and we meet in the next video.